Hey. Oh, it's your thing. Hello, everyone. It is I, Neon Saline, and we're doing something a little bit different today for the TTRPG Yap Sessions. I don't know. We should start calling it ties. I don't know. Abbreviation. Who knows? However, today my inaugural. Whoa, that word just whooped my ass for a second. Let's try that again. My inaugural guest for my first episode of this. I swear to God, we're both professionals.
My Nurgle guest.
My Nurgle guest. The great father of pestilence has come. No, we do not.
Oh,
we
God,
do
no,
not. We
please.
rebuke. I'm trying to summon fish.
Unfortunately, he's busy.
Okay. But just so you can tell by the extremely good energy in the air, I have a dear friend here with me. We've been friends for ages at this point. We are not counting because time is an illusion.
Multiple decades. Let's go with that.
Let's go with that. She's also a streamer here on Twitch. Jesus fucking Christ. Yep, there goes the YouTube. That was my fault.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I just think everybody should be really proud that it wasn't me.
We are all proud of you. I knew it was going to be me.
Edit it and do the bleep.
Oh, I could bleep it. I do have
bleep
editing software now. But without further ado, as you can see on the screen, we have the Chaos Conductor herself, Disjointed Aria. Yay. I don't have my soundboard or else I'd be doing the crowd audio. We're going to hit this shout out button.
Heck yeah, shout outs.
So, why do I have you here? You have been brought here for a series of tests. No,
Okay. Bring it.
Also,
you updated your art.
Yes, I did.
How am I seeing and finding out about this live on stream?
I wanted it to be a surprise.
It's a surprise. It looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
It looks good. He looks so good.
Yeah. I was like,
Heck yeah.
I need a new energy with my Discord stuff while I'm working on my VTuber, because I have a visual I want for that, and I'm never beating the furry allegations again in my life after I finish it.
Because I know something about how that started. You sure aren't.
I'm definitely not. Not that I fight them too hard, but
Embrace.
as we ramble, we are here to talk about tabletop RPGs, which is hilarious because we're probably going to do the same thing except about our RPG characters. So on the ground floor, background, I've been playing tabletop RPGs on and off since like 2004, with like the bulk of the serious play starting in like 2010. Arya has me fucking lapped.
Hey,
okay?
Hold on. That's not my fault, though.
No, I'm not
not
saying
my
that like a
fault.
bad thing. I'm just giving everyone context. I have been playing tabletop RPGs for almost 22 years.
I have been playing tabletop RPGs for 30 years. Almost 31. Because my first character was when I was 5.
Sidebar. That's one of my favorite things right now is seeing like nerds our age having little bitty kids and introducing them to tabletop games.
Yeah.
That's so funny. But
Also, technically, not only was it my first tabletop character, but it was also my first official tabletop character because it was at a convention.
it was for the Adventurers League?
It was, well, it wasn't, yeah, it wasn't for like the big ones, but it was, so the way it used to work is the RPGA hosted things. And so it wasn't part of the like big to-do stuff, but at a lot of cons, science fiction, fantasy, literary conventions that these things happened at, the like tabletop room was set up, and all of the GMs who were running things there were officially certified RPGA DMs, and so the characters were technically all part of the overall RPGA system. That doesn't exist anymore, by the way. One of my first characters was not in you. Well, no, my first LARP was in utero. I have technically been LARPing since before I was born.
Amazing.
And my first cosplay was when I was an infant, because I was dressed up as, quote, the youngest Starfleet captain for a masquerade, and brought out on stage. But yeah, so technically when I was 5, I made my first tabletop character. It was a Dungeons & Dragons character. It was a human fighter, and I used my Hebrew name for it. And I sat at a table at a convention with a bunch of adults, including my mother, and the man who would become my stepfather, for the record, was the one running it.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, that was great. It was very
also,
funny.
Holy shit, a bear, our friend a bear is here.
Our friend
Haven't seen you in forever. How are you doing? I love the delay between our texts.
My mom was LARPing a lot while pregnant, but not for LARP before anybody gets too concerned. This is all parlor LARP, but yeah. To be fair, I think I almost was born at 2 different conventions.
Oh, wow.
There was at least one where mom was so pregnant that there was a group of, I don't remember the actual word for the group, but it was kind of like as if nerdy scouts kind of things, where like you could kind of achieve various accolades within the group by doing things to help out with these conventions and whatnot. But it was essentially like a Boy Scout, Girl Scout kind of situation. And everybody was so worried that mom was going to give birth at the con that some of them were just following her around the whole time as if they could catch me if I fell out.
I mean, in their defense.
The thing is that my mother very stubbornly said, no, she's not due yet, and went about her business.
In their defense, when have babies ever cared about due dates?
I think 5, it was either 5 or 6 was also my first LARP character that I actually got to play, like, as a character.
Aw.
That was in a vampire LARP.
That
was the puppies thing.
Oh, that's amazing.
Technically, it was like a whole big deal where my mom was like, okay, so here's the thing. You're going to get this character, and we might not have characters that are all related to each other. Because the way it worked is you showed up to the game, and they gave you the character and the plot you were going to play through.
Right.
But so, like, you know, we knew all of these adults. If you ever need anything, come find me. But remember, you're not going to be with me the whole time. And I was like, okay. Like, I was fine with that. That's the way it was supposed to go. All of the other adults involved apparently were not fine with that, and specifically made my mother's character my character's handler.
Cowards. No.
Yeah.
But so, as you can see, we are talking to someone with a great breadth of experience. But
I'm old.
You're not old. None of us are old.
I'm a grandmother.
I'm a grandmother. No, we are now the adulty adults, though. We are those. Yeah.
We're
not old.
The adultier adults.
We are the adultier adults, and that's a little terrifying, but we are not old. So we're here together to get through this thing called life, and also talk about extraneous role playing. Yeah. So tell me about, like, the first time you really, like, you know, you have these experiences as, like, a little kid, but what was your first character that you, like, constructed? Like, you know, we're both artists, and we've definitely both had a bunch of OCs and things like that, but who was, like, your first tabletop character you, like, constructed from your blood, sweat, and tears?
I had, like, a litany of essentially the same character over and over again, like you do, both especially as a child and as a let's face it, when you're new to D&D, you make the character you want to play, and sometimes you make that character many, many times because you're in a bunch of quick things. So I had, like, a litany of half-elven rogues that eventually became half-elven bards and sometimes half-elven sorcerers. I think... Gosh, that really is tough, mostly because my memory is horrendous. One of the earliest ones I actually remember, like, clearly with, like, with any clarity, hilariously, is actually a Pathfinder character when Pathfinder was so new it wasn't out yet.
Oh.
Before Pathfinder fully came out, like,
wait, wasn't it like a 3.5 hack?
It was kind of, but, like, not officially under 3.5, because the point is they were trying to make something better,
right?
Because it was when yeah, when 3.5 was what it was inspired to be, and then when 4 was being made, it was like, but we could do 3.5 but do it better. But early on, they released kind of like playtest materials essentially, as opposed to actually like when you had the full like player's guide or anything. So we had like pamphlets with blurbs is what we were working with.
Oh wow.
And I can't remember if it was. I think it was like a pre-written adventure. And we were testing it out, and I made my first wizard.
You have a wizard? Hang on.
Yeah, she was so cute. She was oh my goodness. I got all prepared to do this, and I didn't get my brain to do any of its actual functioning. But yeah, she was oh my words. My quick warning, my cognitive abilities have atrophied over the last year for no reason. Words I know, like breathing, suddenly leave my brain. What is the oh my god. It starts with a V.
I'm not helping. I'm not helping.
Yep, 1 second. Nope. I'm just gonna use the internet to be my secondary brain.
Parisian?
Yes.
GD to the rescue.
Boop, boop. But no, yeah, I had a Parisian. Hilarious. That was one of the games with our friend Romeo too. But yeah, I had a Varisian, very shy, quiet, Desna worshipping wizard who really, really, really wanted to go to this like big fancy wizard school somewhere, and so was like leaving like her caravan and home for the first time, and was so hilariously like, I'd made her to have no self-esteem, right? Like no, like I can do this, just like I can do things and I don't always know what I'm doing. So it's like very sorcerer adjacent, but with having learned things. The dice were so on my side that the first spell I cast in that adventure, I literally hit the broadside of a barn with Cone of Cold instead of the enemy. There's a group, by the way, of goblins, like not high ACs. But that's one of the earlier ones that I remember like with strong clarity, because I played so many like just like D&D things, and they were kind of all the same.
I feel like we all go through that through a large chunk of things, and I feel like the renaissance and like letting people have a semblance of originality or like flavor for self-expression for their characters is still real new. Like,
yeah,
I am of an age where I remember that shit would get you clocked and absolutely just like Mary Sue, like,
which is so funny because again, I was making half elf. Eventually, tieflings were a thing you could play, and that became the new half elf for me. Every character is a Mary Sue.
Yeah. Except for when you're a man, then you're just playing characters.
Then you're just playing a character. Meanwhile, every man that we know we have played games with makes the most Mary Sue character I've ever seen.
We love you all.
We love you all. I'm gonna mock you. Mocked with love, but you know who you are.
But so there was do you remember her name, the Desna worshipping wizard?
I am currently blanking. I know that I have art of her somewhere, and I thought it was in this folder, and it isn't. Oh, no. I know where it is. Good old DeviantArt.
I am glad society has moved beyond the Mary Sue term in general. Yeah, we are finally growing. Like, so, like, I feel like society grows in this weird, hi Joker, amoeba-ish like form where like things will expand in one direction but contract in another. So like we're constantly growing and failing all the time, all at the same time. But that said,
her name was Mia, short
Mia.
for Meallion.
Mialian.
Not a Parisian name, but we didn't have a lot of information at the time.
I mean, you do what you do your best with what you got, you know.
If you would like me to share this very old art made with Copic markers, where would you like me to put it?
Oh yeah, you can totally put it. Hang on, let's see. Yeah, we've also known each other long enough that we have shared like loading noises and like I did not use before I met you. I did not used to do that.
I need you to understand. I didn't know I did that until literally yesterday.
Shut up. You're lying.
No, when I was talking to my partner and going to look something up because we were talking admittedly about a TTRPG thing, and I did a little and he goes, I like how you do the little guitar riffs. And I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, you know, the little like music and sounds and noises you make when you're doing things as like a, and I was like, the what that I what? Hold on. Pause.
Stick your art in the artist alley.
Okay.
That's so funny. That's so fucking funny.
It's so funny that you bring that up because I literally am sitting there like, I have been mad. What can I do for you?
Oh, we learn new things about ourselves every single day.
Like random noises, but I didn't know it was like quantifiable and a specific.
No, you have this very like musical like way of processing things.
I guess. Like, listen, it tracks. It's on brand. I understand.
Oh, I know what year this was made with the MS Paint fucking background on the.
Yeah, that one in particular was.
Hang on. If you would like to come hang out.
2008.
Yep, that was the early 2000s.
2008.
But if you would like to come to the Discord and see everything, there's the link. It's good for the next 7 days. But so, okay, so we have our first character. I think my first D&D character that I got super attached to was when I was at college. So the first D&D character I actually played was not someone I made. I had never played D&D before, and I was basically the pet freshman of the alt kids at my high school. And one of them was running D&D for everyone, and they started a new campaign. So he made me a spontaneous shapeshifter. So I was a halfling of some kind. And then he homebrewed the... You know Escaflowne. Remember the cat girl?
Yes.
Yes. He homebrewed that as a species. So I was a spontaneous shapeshifter, and I would switch between the halfling form and that cat girl. Not her specifically, but like something like her. And the halfling was a rogue. I think it was a shadow dancer. And the cat girl was some kind of archer. And just as I was starting to get the hang of like how he was triggering my shapeshifting, he moved away.
Oh.
But I always remember that character, like, because it was just like I didn't know you could do all this stuff in D&D. Because, like, I knew my dad had played D&D, like, back in the day. But, like, I hadn't really, like, had any really direct experience with it. And then I ended up joining the RPG club at my college. And the anime club, which that Venn diagram was not a circle, but it was definitely an oval. And I joined a D&D game. There was the dreaded Exalted game, which we're not getting into. And the Vampire LARP. And I was friends with a girl, and we made 2 half-elves, and they were best friends, and I played a Hexblade, but because I was not quite a recovering edgelord, I was still in edgelord. I took the proficiency to be able to use scythes, so I was a hexblade that
Oh
used the
yeah.
scythe.
Do you know how many feats I burned on being able to use whips and chakram just so I could? Do you know when Pathfinder did come out and the freaking Star Blades thing that Parisians had
Mm.
was a thing I could just have, as opposed to being like, nope, I have to actively use feats to be able to use, sometimes like not even for crazy weapons, right? I wasn't looking for anything ridiculous, but they were considered like exotic weapons, all the things that I
Yep.
like. So you had to take special feats just to use them, which is like, I understood, but also fuck off.
Like, what do you mean I have to do paperwork to be able to have a power fantasy? Go to hell. Like,
I mean, that's D&D in a nutshell, ain't it?
I mean, ooh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
um, but the thing that happened was I ended up joining a vampire LARP, and this is the re-invite you to Valor. Yeah, sure, I would love that, Bliss. But I was 17 when I played a vampire LARP, and my first character was a Bruja. Her name was Melia, and my first session in, there's a vampire power called Dominate, in which someone can implant a suggestion in your brain. Hi, Pinky. And
Hi,
you
Vicky.
have you have to compulsively follow it. So I was dominated to eat the Primogen, who is the leader of your clan, and the Whip, who is the second in command. Who basically, if the Primogen dies, the Whip becomes the Primogen. And unfortunately, it worked. Which is weird because it was my first night out. I'm just really good at rock, paper, scissors.
Uh-huh. The rock, paper, scissorsness of it all is so funny.
So, I managed to subsume my Primogen's identity, but the Whip was too strong and I failed the check, so he was permanently a presence in my mind for that character's entire run in the game. But you know, I'm an edgelord. I love The Crow and Vampire Hunter D and like all sorts of like, early 2000s like alt goth culture bullshit. So I'm like, I love this. And then I learned about the World of Darkness.
I unfortunately learned about the World of Darkness differently. And it's taken a very long time for me to come back around to it.
Ask you at the Vampire Romeo and Werewolf Juliet AU optional event? That sounds hilarious.
Oh my god. No, I was introduced to the concept of the World of Darkness from what people who have been around for a while will know is infamously the vampire and werewolf LARPers from the 80s and 90s.
Oh.
Because they were at the same cons that I was. Because they were at the cons that my mother was working and hosting. And the LARP character that I mentioned was in one said LARP. I have technically shown up to two random vampire LARPs and been given a character in my life. Both times to help out. One time I wanted to. The other time I thought it was funny. But let's just say that some of the social behaviors around certain groups at certain times in history were not their best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unfortunately, many of those people continue to be a part of those spaces.
That was so diplomatic. I am so proud of you.
These were people who not only got themselves kicked out of events, but sometimes got events kicked out of venues.
Yeah, buddy.
And I don't know how diplomatic would you like me to be about the like nail in the coffin there, or
we can be like a moderate level of spice, like a smooth serrano pepper. Like
I will just say that let's just say if you know anything about vampire games, you know there's a lot of talk about orgies, and in real life those aren't really talk. And let's just say none of them actually understood that maybe they should stop talking when there was a literal child in the room.
God damn it.
No, the behavior was atrocious, and I didn't have a lot of respect for those people. I knew that good people played those games, but I saw a lot of bad behavior growing up, and I just sort of was like, this is my impression of this. And so when I came around to things later, it's always funny when I talk to somebody and they're like, oh, you should come play our vampire game. You should come do this thing. And I was like, I'm good. I'm like, no, you'd love it. I'm like, oh, yeah, I was introduced to vampire in the late 80s, early 90s. And they go, oh, well, it's not like that anymore. Every time without fail.
Yeah. So I think the thing that always bugs me about Vampire LARP right now is that it's always at somebody's goddamn house. I'm not going to a house of somebody I don't know. Like, I'm so sorry.
And it's rough, right? Because like I, relative most recently is as in, oh God, it's been
1 week since you nope
millennial
brain.
Under 10 years, but more than 5 since I was no longer part of a particularly well-known organization. Before it absolutely imploded on itself, at least locally.
Humble uni campus for LARP. Ooh, I am starting school again. I might try, actually. I might do that.
It's always the trick because in order to have a venue, you need to be able to afford a venue, which means you need a place that has dues and actually knows how to allocate those dues. But also, the weird bit of like where you can do things like that kind of LARP because it needs to not really be public facing. We had a game where somebody managed to get their apartment complex to let us use their like clubhouse once a month.
Ooh.
Which was great. It was very small, but it was funny when we had to go outside to like have like certain like more private scenes because outside of the clubhouse was right next to the pool.
Amazing.
So you had to be careful what you say and keep your voice down.
But yeah, so my love of World of Darkness went that way. So through the RPG club, I started playing my other lost love, Hunter the Reckoning.
I almost got to be in one Hunter game.
Oh, I love Hunter the Reckoning so much, and I played that. I was in a Changeling LARP. That was so much fun. And
Changeling is my shit. That's my house.
And then, by the time I started really getting into it, because, I'm late to everything, they switched to the new World of Darkness, which I didn't hate, but it was very polarizing. So I couldn't find people that I could both tolerate and had interest in playing the same games as I did. But I collected almost all of those goddamn books at one point. Like, I think the only ones I didn't have were Prometheus and, scratch that. I think the only book I hadn't gotten was Prometheus because I moved and then I was broke for a while when that book came out. But the other thing that World of Darkness introduced me to, and this is how we're going to segue into this, is a wonderful game. Because before I was anything else, I was a mythology nerd. One of my foundational movies in my life is Clash of the Titans. When I am old enough that when cell phones started to be able to you could use sound files for your text message tones, I did the boobo. That was my text message tone.
That's why you like my weird noises. I'm just boobo to you.
Boobo's the best. But
you big Athenian nerd.
Yes. But so I find out about this game called Scion. Scion is a game where you play basically a demigod. That's actually one of the ranks. You start as Scion and then you go to demigod and then you go to god. But imagine my sheer delight when there is an entire role-playing system based off a very simple D10 mechanic where you can play the child of just about any deity you can think of, because they started adding pantheons with the next level. So I think the first book in the original version of Scion had like 5 or 6 pantheons, and then Demigod added like 3 more, and then God added like 2 more, and then there was the compendium that added a whole bunch of other ones that we don't talk about.
That we don't talk about.
We don't talk
We
about.
don't talk about Bruno.
But so right around the time that Arya and I really start becoming friends, because we were in a lightsaber stage fighting group together, I get an idea, because I have a group of friends that have all played tabletop RPGs, and I have had this RPG book for years and no one to play it with me. So, like any self-respecting person do, I started haranguing them.
I was gonna say, you begged, pleaded, harassed, and harangued.
Oh no, I will never ever tell the lie that I did not harangue you. I terrorized all of you for months on end. I admit this.
The both somehow, the fluctuation between excited and like kind of sad, like. I need you to understand. Neon has a lot of means of like getting their friends to do various things or to hear things and care about things, and very rarely does one employ the like, no, I don't know, I think it could be fun. I just really think you'd like it. It's fine. I just really think you'd like it.
But I was right.
It's not common.
Yes. So my claim to fame with Joker is my first full form tabletop RPG game I ran while I was unemployed. And we ran it at my house weekly for, what was that, 6 or 7 months straight?
Oh, I didn't count time at that time. I don't think any of us knew how to count time.
I knew it was the game was what helped me keep weeks in my brain, which led to one of the single funniest moments that ever happened, because you get like food and pizza and things like that. So we got like DiGiorno pizzas, and I'm sitting there and I'm like cutting the pizza, and somebody comes in and I come out with this knife that's covered in red, and I'm like, "Hey guys, what's up?" And everyone freezes like deer in headlights, and I'm confused. Oh no.
What do you have? A knife?
No. But so we end up playing Scion, and it's great. We keep playing and we keep iterating, and we keep like, I want to play this Pantheon, and okay, I'll run it, and I want to play this Pantheon, and okay, I'll run it, and we would swap and like rotate about who's playing, who's running the game versus who's playing. And God, we had so many NPCs that back when Apple TV was just like a solitary thing, we used actors and like famous people for the played-bys or like the portrayals of these characters. So we would get folders of just random pictures from different things that we thought fit the characters, and we would shove them all in one folder, and we would make our own like AMVs basically. And it was such a like weird, because like it's such a unique thing, right? Like I've tried to explain this to people before, and they're like, I've never done anything like that, because it wasn't even just like, oh, like we picked a song, we would just have it go on a randomized slideshow while listening to music, which would kind of make their own stories, and sometimes we'd be like, that's canon now. Like, oh man,
it was the crack ships.
The crack ships were hilarious. That the Apple TV shipped Arya and what was his name? The son of Poseidon. Oh no, Aenit and the son of Poseidon.
Oh yeah.
Like Peter. That Apple TV shipped her and Peter real hard. Like, but and then so I also
put the original characters into Apple TV, like our first Scions.
Yes.
Because by the time we were doing Apple TV, we'd moved on to so many other games.
Yeah, we did. But so then the back half of it is that a friend of mine did like art and writing for RPGs, so I started learning about indie systems and was like wildly intimidated by them, because what do you mean there's like oh, you use 2 dice. Like, you use 2d6s. That's cool. Oh, no. But eventually,
Oh, no.
back in Philadelphia, there is... Well, it's just outside of Philadelphia. There is a game store called Seventh Dimension. If you live in the... What is that? That's not Cheltenham. It's Jenkintown?
Jenkintown.
If you live in the Jenkintown area of Pennsylvania, go to Seventh Dimension. It is a great store. Back in the day, they used to run a thing called Dapper D8, where I used to help run games and facilitate people learning
Don't tell
about
them
new.
we sent you. They don't know who we are by these names.
They don't. Just like, yeah, I
joke about it. Tell them we sent you. Nope.
No,
he's like,
no,
who
here's what you
the
do.
hell is that?
I heard about you guys on like a online show. Like, don't worry about it. But and that's where I learned about there was like the Doctor Who tabletop RPG, and that was wild. There's a game called Dominion that I ended up buying because that session was so fun. And then my second beloved, Monster Hearts. That was the first time I played Monster Hearts. I played the Queen.
I remember those playtests.
Monster Hearts is a Powered by the Apocalypse game where you play, I often jokingly refer to it as like Vampire Diaries, the RPG, or
It's
Supernatural,
a
the
CW
RPG. It's a CW show. Or
Yeah.
occasionally, if your peers want to play on this level, True Blood. Like, but you know, everybody has to sign up for that. But
Technically, everybody has to sign up for any of it, but like, yeah.
very get
You
off
should
the
never
ropes.
run a game. You should never run a game without everybody involved knowing a little bit about what you're getting into and agreeing on the vibe.
Exactly. That's one of my favorite things about like AP culture right now, honestly, that they're like, okay, this game can be for anybody, it might not be for you.
Which, by
But,
the way, is both like a don't do that and like real advice, even on like a, because a lot of people I think about that sort of thing when it's about like how intense or how problematic or triggering something could be. But it's also just like kind of good advice for running and playing games, because the number of games that I have seen, honestly, the number of friendships I've seen take a little bit of a toll because people wanted to play a game and everybody wanted to play it a little bit differently. Everybody came in with different expectations and they all just kind of ended up getting frustrated, or like, you know, like, listen, if one person is there to play like a serious fantasy adventure and the other person wants to play Boo Boo the Clown, right? Like, everyone should have some amount of communication about like what the energy is going into something like that. And if it shifts, it shifts, and if people want it to shift, it can shift. But I think it's a bad habit, I think, that most of the community has gotten into, of just being like, oh, well, this is the game this is, and therefore it's going to be like this, and then just going with it.
Yeah. You feel cold. But so Monster Hearts ended up becoming a game that I keep ending up running. I just recently ran it for my friend Jack Meisterhypster, who I do not have a button for. Damn it! Hang on. Let me see if I can get this in one shot.
I believe in you.
Out. Bam, 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 bam. I did it.
I'm so proud of you.
So they asked me, they're doing a monthly one-shot series, and for February, on Valentine's Day, they asked me to run Monster Hearts for February, and Valentine's Day happened to be my best day, so we leaned in, and that video is actually up on YouTube right now. I am terrified. I have not watched it. Because I, like any good actor, can't stand looking at myself sometimes. But
what?
I love that idea, that like, it's so funny because like people are like, oh, actors are so self-interested and stuff like that, and I'm like, yes, but no.
Listen, some specifically are there because they love to watch themselves and hear themselves talk. That's absolutely a thing. Some of us are both.
Yeah,
Some of us
I
have
said
absolutely no self-esteem, but at some point in our lives, it's like, I'm a star.
that's the yes but no,
Yes,
or
but
no
no.
but yes. Uh, but so I have a question from like the acting standpoint,
Yeah.
and role playing. Do you find that when you're making characters, do they do have like, you know how they have like the Meisner method and this method and that other method where the like parts of you are brought through the character or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you develop kind of backwards, or do you work from like a concept and you kind of backfill the personality in the way that they are from the idea? Or do you just go like, I
I
think it'd be
have
really fun to do this?
I have what I can never tell if it's the least satisfying way to answer this question, or just I don't know if it's relatable, or the cop out sounding answer is like, oh, it depends. Part of the problem, and for people who don't know,
Mm.
there's a term that mostly gets used in video games called being an altaholic.
Ah, yes.
And hold on, I'm waiting to see if the captions do what I think they're gonna do. Oh,
No!
I'm proud of them. Oh, it changed it.
It
Oh
changed it,
no.
yeah.
Ah, boo.
I saw it. I
Anyways.
saw it too. It's on video. We saw it get it right. And then they changed
What
it.
it said a second ago, that's the right one, friends with potential hearing impairments or watching instead of listening. Um, I have many, many alts, and when I play video games, this is true. When I play MMOs, it's the most obvious because I can literally show people all of my characters, and there are like 50 of them. I actually very quickly found out that Final Fantasy XIV has a limit of how many characters that you can make. And it's account wide, not server wide, which I think is stupid. It's fine. Anyway, this has always been true for me. I can't stop making characters. I need you to know I was thinking, I promise this is going to come back around. I was thinking about, because the first question you asked is like, oh, your first character. Oh, like the first characters that you put me into. And I was thinking about the fact that I technically had a category of characters when I was younger for D&D that I made that I never got to play. Expressly and specifically because the way you found games and was like, I need people to play this with me. I will run them and people will play. I couldn't run things. And I fell in love with Forgotten Realms. And at the time,
Oh.
the Forgotten Realms was not the baseline continuity or
No, it
world of
wasn't.
Dungeons and Dragons.
As a
weird...
never Winter Night girly, I'm here with you. Because holy shit.
I owned the player's guide to the Forgotten Realms and I read it. I read it like a book. I read it front to back. I knew and loved everything about Forgotten Realms, and no one would play it with me. I need y'all to understand, I grew up around people who played D&D constantly. Everybody wanted to do all sorts of other things. People would have been more willing to play Dragonlance with me than friggin' Forgotten Realms.
Oh,
but
come
I was completely
on.
obsessed with some of the concepts in it, and two of them were the fact that again, because it's like weird, I'm like, oh, what did we have then and what we have now? But it was the first place that I remember there being what were essentially the sub races, right? Like the underlying divisions between, so you could have like different kinds of gnomes and different kinds of elves depending on where they were from and what they did. And so I was obsessed with this idea because there were so many different kinds of elves, and unsurprisingly to literally anybody, I'm obsessed with elves and have been my whole life. But so there were like sun elves and moon elves and wild elves and all of this stuff, and I was so into that. So I had like a whole bunch of like characters that I built. I had a specific sun elf that I think I like remade in my head like 20 times. That was like from, oh, I'm gonna blank on the name, but there's like a series of islands off the coast.
Yes.
Where like sun elves live, and it's like very hoity-toity over there. And so I had this one very specific sun elf that I made for lots of things. And then that was also, and I will never stop being mad about this because I feel like nobody acknowledges it, but the Forgotten Realms is the first place we got Genasi.
Really?
Yes. Yes, the Moonshae Isles. Thank you so much. That was, or at least that's the one that I knew of. I had never seen the idea of Genasi before I was reading the Forgotten Realms book. And I was so obsessed. And so I had this sun elf and this fire genasi. Um, who yeah, I had a fire genasi from the desert. We know. Um, but I made all of these characters and I loved them and I drew them and I incorporated them into other things. But I could never play them. I don't remember what their names were. I know they had them. I know at one point the fire genasi's name was Ignis.
Nice.
But I do not think that is I do not think that is the name that she ended up with in whatever way. And I don't think it was her first one. Um it just anyway, so I have a lot of characters and I can't stop making these characters, whether or not I play them. In LARP, I got specifically well known for this because I don't know how much it like comes across if you think about the idea of having multiple characters in a LARP. But I had alternate characters in the LARPs I was playing. There was a section of time where I was playing in, I want to say upwards of 5 or 6 different games, and I had at least 2 characters in each game.
I remember that. That was fucking impressive.
It isn't, I'm like, not to toot my own horn, but it is in fact not easy.
I wouldn't think so, considering the level of costuming you would put into all them bitches.
I costumed to the nines. I have some people had different wigs and different makeup. Some of them had face paint. I had one time where somebody went, "Oh, who are you here as today?" And I had like a mild existential panic attack. I'm like, could this character be mistaken for that character? What did I do wrong? You should in fact be able to pick me out of a crowd and know exactly who I am that day. But I did so with an amount of success actually. What was crazy was the time we had a crossover game between all of those, and I had to pick one specific person to be.
Oh.
And I did occasionally have characters visit the other games. It was great. Oh.
Ooh. Yeah. I don't know if you caught that, but I would sneeze. So,
I would sneeze. No,
you know what I meant. I would sneeze. Brain?
Meryl Streep, listen to me.
Listen, I don't care what the role is. Arya is the correct choice.
No. Anyway, so I have a problem, and I make so many freaking characters, and I think if I had one specific approach to making characters, I'd have driven myself insane.
Fair. Can I tell you something? Can I tell you something deeply sincere and emotional on this recording in front of people?
Okay, sure.
I started making... I know. I started making my characters the way I make them now with, like, actual sharing experiences of mine or concepts I want to explore, because I saw the way you would go through and iterate on characters and just, like, full-heartedly just go, I wonder what this is like, and you just go full speed down that road. And it was always, like, the coolest thing to watch. Like, I remember you iterating the process on Tanith. And then there was Spectrum, was her name, maybe?
Yep. Yes.
And Cherie. Spectrum. Those were the 3 in, like, tandem that I watched you make. And I was like...
3, yeah.
And I was like, because, like, we were in a stage fighting group together where we would have to, like, use our characters and then, like, tweak them as necessary if we were doing public events or doing this here and doing that here. So I knew you were good at this shit, but to watch you do that in real time over a series of events, I was like, oh shit. And I was like, hey, what if I tried doing stuff like that? So, I've discovered that I have a couple of character archetypes by doing this.
My face is hot right now. I genuinely don't think I do anything special. I'm not hiding from the praise or the emotion or anything. So like the actual answer, right, to the question, is that sometimes it depends specifically on the game and the setting. Sometimes I look at a game and I know exactly what story I need to explore in that setting. Sometimes I start with an aesthetic. Sometimes the parts where it's like, oh, this character has things in relation to me, I think it's always good to see when and how that might be a thing. It's also really important when you're doing that sort of thing to figure out how to recognize when it's happening unintentionally so that you don't hurt yourself.
Yeah, because
that's hard for a lot of people.
Bleed will backhand slap you. Like,
there's an interview between Brennan Lee Mulligan and Bria Iyengar, where they're talking about a game that they were in, and how somebody said about his character, like, oh, he doesn't think he's good unless he's useful. And he was like, hey, that wasn't a character. That's just true, right? Like, hold on. Wait a minute. That wasn't a choice I was making. That's just the correct way to think, right? Okay, anyway.
I remember that.
It's a great interview. But yeah, so there are some times where I take specific things that I've experienced. Sometimes as I'm building a character, something will be close enough that I go, okay, and sometimes I do things that I would not recommend other people do. I feel so bad for, and I'm so grateful to my now longtime friend, who was my first ST in the Changing the Lost LARP that I joined when we got here. That has led to so much of my life, because I made a deeply fucked up character and story.
Oh, was that? Oh, I can't think of her name.
Jazzy?
Yes!
Who, by the way, the concept for Jazz actually technically started because I saw a wig I really wanted to use. And I had like a concept around this wig that I saw, and I was like, man, wouldn't it be cool? I kid you not. Wouldn't it be cool if you had like that kind of wig and then it was actually representing that the hair was like smoke at the ends?
Ooh.
That was the first thing of
that
how
wig.
I started thinking
I know
about
exactly what wig you're talking about too.
I was like, oh, it would be so cool on like a changeling, right? Because then it would be like, oh, it dissipates not into color but into smoke. Ooh. And then I started kind of visually designing this character and sort of coming up with and like looking at things you can be and could be. But I made what was a really messed up story, that which I do a lot, that specifically focused around very particular types of abuse. And manipulation and control and like it was a lot. And God bless Texas Trufe. He did not know me from nothing. He was told about me from a friend who was friends with a friend of mine. And we were talking and working out this character, and he was like so concerned that I was going to do something that I wasn't going to be okay with, and that something could go down a road that might make me uncomfortable, or like, are you okay with this? And my dumbass was like, I don't remember the specific thing I said, but I made a joke about being intimately familiar with the subject. I was like, stop me if anything that I suggest is like, we don't have to. And I was like, no, I will let you know. But I did this to me. Gimme. Give me the fucked up answer. And he's like, because I have one. I wouldn't want to. And I'm like, tell me. We'll figure it out.
And remember,
hydrate or die.
Hydrate or die.
Yeah, but
safe,
okay.
consensual type shit. I made a character who was in fact a walking gaslighting story after a walking abuse story.
Yep, that sounds like Changing the Lost.
Didn't know.
Oh,
I brought a character in who had been taken after she got out of the Fae realm and was taken in by the wrong people and taught how to survive wrong so that she would be dependent on the people that found her.
Oh, the roleplay choices. Sorry.
I had a list in my pocket that was titled "Things Felix Lied to Me About." So that if somebody said something that did not match something on my list, there was an opportunity for them to teach me that that was not true. Or there was a possibility that something they said, because this happened a couple of times, actually kind of convinced my character that it must be true.
Oh, no.
I need you to understand, I played this character for so long. Nobody but me and the ST knew about that list.
That's
also,
sensational.
not enough people asked questions about why Jazz thought the things that she thought.
Okay, so sidebar. The other thing I do is I play in what I've jokingly referred to as the "Please Don't Sue Us" the event, where me and a group of people. I say that like I was the leader. I was not. I was helping. I was mostly just a character heavy. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we would run events at anime conventions, which were basically giant crossover fan fictions. Um, and there was one year where we had a city that was two cities magically laid on top of each other. And I was playing a young revolutionary who was just like, I'm sick of like living like this. I just want to have a normal home like everyone else. And no one asked questions. They just kept
Mm-hmm.
trying to help her, and they almost broke the setting.
I oh, that's okay. I almost broke a game that I was just there to NPC for.
Mm.
I volunteered to NPC at the previously mentioned organization's event because I only played Changeling.
Mm-hmm.
And there was essentially a con where all of these various things were being played at this place over the course of a weekend, like a long weekend. But I was like, I don't have anything to do because nobody freaking plays Changeling, so there's one Changeling game this whole weekend. But I want to be here and do things and meet people, so I volunteered to NPC for every game.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a
Oh,
crazy
I
person.
remember that. You were like, I remember asking you, it was just like, okay, so what are you doing? Like 2 events? And you started laughing, and I went, what did you do,
No.
bitch? What did you do?
I don't know if anybody knows this. The only thing I know how to do is the most.
We have that in
I've got 2
common.
looks.
And that's it.
That's it. But so again, not knowing really genuinely anything about these games, right? So sitting there in vampire and werewolf games, just being like, tell me what to do and I'll do it. And the funniest one was the first thing that I did. I was told, okay, so you are this, you're a cultist, something has gone wrong. You're at like the edge of madness because of this ritual that happened that killed all your friends, and you're a babbling mess now. When the PCs find you, they'll probably ask you some questions, and they're gonna try to kill you. Let them. And I'm like, cool, easy, right? Like, got it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The problem is everyone seems to underestimate the impact of a bodied NPC
Oh, yeah, they do. Yeah, they
because
do.
everyone assumed that they would walk in, see me, this cultist, and I still don't know enough about vampire to know why everybody hated the group of people but essentially I was like an enemy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it shouldn't have mattered that I was babbling and insane and covered in my friend's blood. That didn't matter because I was the bad guy and this is vampire, right?
Mm-hmm.
The problem is when a bunch of people, no matter what characters they're playing, when a bunch of human people with empathy walk into a room and see another human being curled up on the floor, rocking, hyperventilating, and muttering to herself, it's really hard sometimes for people to stay in character.
Mm-hmm.
So what nobody understood was
Yeah.
going to happen is that they came over and started interrogating me. And the answer was I couldn't answer them. I had been driven next to madness. I was just saying a bunch of stuff and crying essentially about how they were all dead and da 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 da. And so they started using like powers to like read my mind or something. So I kept having to call the ST over because I'm like, I wasn't given this information. I don't know what to tell you. And then instead of even talking about, thinking about, or considering trying to kill this NPC, they adopted her.
Amazing.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I mean, they took her into custody for questioning. And that's not what they did. They literally just took her somewhere safe. She apparently lived for multiple games after that I was not there for, and like fucked them over in various ways, I believe.
Sounds
but
right.
Like, yeah. But it was just so funny because I was like, I don't know what to do in this situation. You said they'd kill me. He was like, they were supposed to kill you. It's fun.
So this is a moment that doubles back twice to a conversation we had like first when we were like starting to role play together, but also back to me being in college and being in that vampire game. And then we're gonna take a quick break, and then there will be the lightning round. But
no, I'm bad at lightning.
I remember I remember so mentioning that first vampire character, the Bruja, who was dominated to eat her primogen and whip. What happened after that is they called an emergency meeting of like the entire vampire council. So They pull the way it was set up. It was like this little like theater room. So there was a stage with a curtain on it. So what happened was is that they called us all up and they closed the curtain until there was like you could kind of see through it if you looked with one eye. And they called me there. I am new to the city. I am a fledgling vampire. And the oldest vampires in the city are suddenly interrogating me about what did I just do. So of course I start crying. And there is I'm so mad that I don't have this picture anymore, but on the LARP group's like archive for a while, the Facebook, like the big banner photo was me sitting under like the dim lights crying. And there was a point where they kept talking because, you know, like I'm a smooth 20-year-old vampire. I've been a vampire for a month. And like, you know, just like, what did you do? And so, and I'm crying and they stop and they, exactly. And they do the out of character hand symbol and they're like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, what? And there was just this like record skip. So later when I'm telling you about this, because I went back and forth about calling myself an actor for a very long time, and I was wanting to do voiceover, but I hadn't had any training. And you kind of made this boggled face at me. And I was like, what? And you were like, you are definitely an actor. People who aren't actors don't have stories like that. And I was like,
Dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's almost like you acted.
And like, it was just like, I was just playing a game and you looked at me and I was like, is that not how people play the game? And you were like, no.
And like, to be so clear, it's absolutely how people play the game. But being a person who, by the way, was raised by actors and taught to play Dungeons and Dragons by actors, and found out in high school that not everybody who plays Dungeons and Dragons acts like actors. There is a specific way that actors play D&D. It is one of the things that leads to fascinating conversations, both positive and negative, and well-meaning and not, about Critical Role.
Yep.
Because people don't understand that there is a difference between people who, and I don't mean like, oh, professionals are going to be different than like, no. If you have an understanding of acting as a skill, as an art form, as a whatever level of hoity-toity or not that you want to do it, if you have training especially, the way that you think about a character and a story, and the way that you can and will and naturally might express it, that character in that story, is different than someone who doesn't have that thought process. That is not better. That is not worse. It is just different. But an actor will look at a character and figure out how to play that character. And some people start playing D&D and think that way. And I would argue that's you figuring out you're an actor. If you want to do anything with that, you can. If you don't, you don't. But I would say if you play Dungeons & Dragons or any tabletop game, and what you find is that your way of playing involves really embodying or wearing that character to a degree, that is you discovering, if you did not already know, that you are an actor. It's a way of thinking. It's a mentality.
That was a wild thing.
It's a way of... Sorry.
No, you're good. It was just, I was so tickled by that. But, yeah. Oop, waffle! But yeah, so we are going to take a quick break, like maybe 5 minutes. Sorry to like dip when you just get here, Waffle. We swear we're coming back. But we'll be right back. Everybody hydrate, bio, do whatever you need to do. We've been on for a while and we're about to take a break. And
yeah, it's been like an hour.
Yeah, it's been like an hour. So we're going to take a break and then it will be the lightning question round.
Uh-oh.
But we'll see you shortly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And hello. Nope, that's not the right button. Oh, I don't have a button for it. Whoopsie.
Oh, you're coming through.
Yep, it just didn't change properly on stream. We're fine. We're here together now.
That's okay. You messing that up saved me from having to try to figure out how to say hello now that we're back with my mouth full of cheese because I took a big old bite right before you went hello.
Oh gosh. Taste the cheese. What kind of cheese? I'm curious.
I got some Baby Bells.
Ah, nice.
And I have one mozzarella like normal and one that's a white cheddar.
Ooh.
I like cheese.
Cheese is pretty tasty. But so what we're now going to do is some approximation.
Pretend Aria knows how to answer questions in a short form.
So we're basically going to do a lightning round. These questions are off the top of my dome as well, so we will probably get distracted and ramble like we have been doing this entire time. So first of all, favorite class to play
In D&D?
in D&D.
Sorcerer.
In D&D, what class are you personally?
I hate this one because no matter what I say, I feel self-aggrandizing.
Make a decision.
There's no good answer that's buddy. Genuinely,
Yes.
probably sorcerer or bard.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah,
Don't
no,
cover me.
both of those fit. I'm not coming for anybody. I have no room to come for anybody. I have regularly called myself a bardlock. I have no room to come for anybody.
I'm way too annoying for somebody to try to make a pact with. No warlock patron wants to hear my 70 million questions to make sure I've got everything right.
I have a warlock patron for different reasons.
I could be somebody's warlock patron. That sounds more like me.
Yeah, nah. But let's see.
Now I really want to do something with the idea of like somebody playing like somebody with like an Archfey warlock pact, but the Archfey in question is just me, disjointed Aria, the Fey.
That sounds sensational. So
I'll make more sense when I'm done with these goddamn comics.
You can only pick one to guest GM for you. Bleem, Matt Mercer, or Bria Iyengar.
That's an evil question. You're an evil person. Bria Iyengar.
Yes.
The level of both understanding of how to manage, let's face it, people like me, and also the running with the bit, I'm so here for. I'm obsessed with Abria's DM style. I really am. They're all phenomenal. Nobody gives Abria enough flowers.
They really don't. Let's see. Favorite game you've gotten to the table?
Oh, like system?
Yes.
I am currently, and we're on a little bit of a pause because of life, but I am currently running an Avatar Legends game for a local group.
Ooh.
And we've been going for a while, actually. It's, I don't run a lot of games, but I've been very dedicated to trying to figure this one out. There's been some growing pains. It's totally fine. This is the longest I've actually managed to run a campaign of any kind.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
But no, Avatar Legends is great. I'm completely obsessed. I backed it. I have everything that you could have, save like one thing right now. I don't have the premium dice. That's fine. And I don't have, there's a specific adventure that only exists in the quick start bundle, because that comes with a bunch of other stuff that I don't technically need. But at some point I'm going to get it just so I can also have that adventure. And I also have been doing playtest stuff for the new Beetle and Grimm thing that's coming out. I really love Avatar Legends. I think it's a great system. It's very confusing. It's very hard, I've noticed, for people who are used to crunchier, more reactive types of games. Because games that are less crunch and more story tend to be something that requires you to be proactive.
Right.
Um, and it's a hard adjustment. The biggest adjustment I've noticed in general from people who play like D&D, Pathfinder, and even World of Darkness going into system lighter games is not knowing how to just do things, because
Mm-hmm.
you're so used to having to go like, oh, I want to climb that ladder. Okay, roll a dexterity check, or like, you know what I mean? And
Yes.
it's like, nope, you just do it. How do I do this? You do it. Oh, what do I, you do it. And it's tricky, but it's been really fun. It's been really rewarding. I've gotten to really delve both into like, I've gotten to delve so deep into like the world of Avatar. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
always the biggest fan of IP games. Avatar Legends is handled so beautifully. Highly
Mm-hmm.
recommend.
What's a game that you wish you could get to the table more often?
I bought the special edition of a game that I have not yet gotten to the table at all.
Oh.
Um, it's called Epillion.
Ooh.
It is from Magpie Games. It is, I believe, powered by the Apocalypse at base, like most Magpie games. It is at its core, My Little Pony, but you're not ponies, you're dragons.
Ah,
You are
I
little
see.
dragons. And the cool thing about, so like, it's you're literally young dragons, and young dragons have the most potential and can do the most things. And as you become an older dragon, you have to kind of settle into your niches. And you do age through the process.
Mm-hmm.
But the concept is that it is a world, it's all dragons.
Yes.
It's not like, oh, people and no, everybody's a dragon. Uh, Optionally, if you would like, they technically don't have a concept of gender that way, but they do offer a dragon specific set of pronouns.
Nice.
It's great. It's a Dre Drare, which can be like hard, and I'm like, that's great though. But yeah, it's, you can use whatever, but technically speaking, dragons don't have gender, they're just dragons. Um, and yeah, the idea is that like old dragons have to do specific things, and they start to get slower and they start to get more focused, and young dragons can go out and make change. They can like do things. And so you're sent out kind of the way that like the main six are. You go out and you do things and try to help with dragon society, or find things, or go on adventures, or all sorts of things. And over the course of the game, you do, as you level up, you are growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And so you start having
Oh.
to kind of like focus on like what type of magic you use, and like all these things. um i I spent money on this so fast, knowing no one's ever gonna play with me, but it's a really cool concept. Also, dragons can be anything. Dragons can look like anything. There's not like a, we are specifically this type of dragon or that type of dragon. You could just make whatever your dragon looks like is how your dragon looks. It's very cool. The art is really cute. There are different like playbook type things because it's a Powered by the Apocalypse game.
Right.
And they're mostly about what you do. Like, it's super fun. It's called Epillion. I'll type it in chat.
Thank you. Uh, one game you wish you could go back to.
Like a system or a session, like a campaign.
Let's say a campaign. One campaign you wish you could go back to.
So many. I love all of our games. You know what? I'm gonna go with but at least one of our Monster Hearts games.
Mmm.
Maybe the one where I was playing the Selkie.
That was so this ever. I'm running the game, and you know, Monster Hearts generally tends to be set in high school, so inadvertently the Selkie, not knowing human traditions like going to school, ends up being late for class. And I believe your surname was Kelp, if I'm not mistaken.
Fiona, yeah.
Fiona Kelp.
Yep.
And the teacher looks at her and goes, Miss
Yeah.
Kelp, what are you doing in the hallway? And she turns her head like she's not the one being spoken to, and I had to I had to lock in real hard for a second because I was like, what the fuck was that? What do you mean? I called your name. Like, I was so
I think I was
incandescently.
literally holding a bag of chips and eating them. And I think the teacher, like, asked what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of went, eating chips? And then, like, ate a chip without breaking eye contact.
And it was just, that's not even the part that took me out. It was just the way that you turned, like, to look behind you. Like, I'm talking to you!
Me? The only person in the hallway? The only living, breathing entity for who knows how far?
Just,
Yeah, you.
Just gotta love it, gotta love it. But
Also, if you'd like, I can link to that book.
yes. You are bound to only play one system.
See, that makes me want to cheat so bad. This is why no warlock wants me as a patron. I'm like, okay, fate. Like, one of the systems that can be anything. A system powered by the apocalypse. That's so many systems. It's actually also probably genuinely true. I have been finding that almost all of my favorite games use Powered by the Apocalypse as a base.
Mm-hmm.
And if I could, and they're different systems, right? Like, Monster Hearts is very different than Avatar Legends because there's stuff that's like really specific to it. But it can be built upon to make so many different things. So if I was going to be a smartass, I'd say Powered by the Apocalypse because it's technically a system, but it's also the core of a whole bunch of other systems. So I'm going to be more intellectually honest about it. Oh, there's one other system that I haven't gotten to play yet that I am desperate to, but that's
go for it.
Question. So there's a show called The Dragon Prince.
Yes.
There is a TTRPG for The Dragon Prince.
Okay.
It looks real good. I need to play it. I refuse to run it because I should be allowed to play
it. McG, run it.
It's on the list. He's taking a big break from running games for a while, but
no problem.
Yeah, we'd like to. Also, we need time and people who would want to play it. Maybe people who have like seen the show.
Yeah, I was like, listen, I'd play, but I have never seen the show.
Tabletop game. I've run a Pokemon tabletop game for people who have never played Pokemon or watched Pokemon in their life. That's fun, by the way.
Listen, I need you to run that controller game for me so I can play my ninja-themed controller with our competition with my Froakie, Nobu Fraga.
Listen. I desperately want to run that game. I want to run Pokemon Tabletop so bad. For full context, real quick, this is a ramble instead of a lightning round again.
Yep.
I got a hold of a third-party fan-made, it's called Pokemon Pen and Paper. It's a kind of a rough system. It's very skeleton-y. You kind of gotta, like, finagle it and understand. It's very fan made. However, it's also relatively simple and straightforward. And I got so obsessed with this idea, I created a custom setting. I made my own region. I made it a super region, so it is broken up into 3 parts. I have designed badges and teams of gym leaders. I have mapped out the geography and topography. I have made towns. I have made cards for doing battles easier. I have an entire binder that started out as a notebook that is basically a player's guide for my custom region for this freaking game. And I have gotten to run all of one shot and then half of a longish one shot. For the record, I have written one shots. I have pre-written adventures for myself to potentially run. I've managed to do one of them.
Yeah, I should probably do that.
I started a campaign that never started, and then I started a campaign that did start but fell apart after maybe 4 or 5 sessions.
Mm-hmm.
I would pick that freaking game back up in a heartbeat if I had like time and dedicated people.
Listen, I
Also
need you to
had
know
time.
that I will be one of those dedicated people when the time
I
finally
know.
comes.
When the time comes.
I just need you to know that Arya loves me because she hates puns. And I love puns. And when I told her this idea the first time, she pulled a magnificent face and went, okay. And that's how I knew I was loved. Because I was like, yeah, no, I'm going to have a ninja theme, like, controller. And you're like, oh, that's cool. And I'm like, and I'm going to have a Froakie. And you're like, cool, what's his name? And I started
I was
a
sitting there,
coordinator.
I was like, what's off with the word control coordinator?
Coordinator, thank you.
That took me so long to process through. Continue.
My bad. But and I was like, I'm going to have a ninja themed controller. And exactly. Like, it was like the full body suppression of a sneer, I feel.
I want my friends to be happy and to play characters that make them happy.
But I think it was the sheer delight because I said I wanted a Froakie and you're like, okay, what's his name? And I started thinking and I just started giggling. And you turned to me and I feel like that was the moment you knew something was afoot. And then I just went, no, Bufraga.
Bufraga.
No, Bufraga Oda, the most honorable of Froakie.
Which is how you know that Neon doesn't love me.
I do love you. It's so good. And also, that is exactly a 12-year-old's thinking.
Uh-huh. This was for the campaign, right? With your character with the teal hair, Cassie?
Yes.
I'm gonna hold on.
Sometimes love language is bite.
Sometimes love language is bite.
But yes.
I love my friends so much more than they love me.
No, I love you forever. In my defense, my acts of love are surprise gifts and terrorizing you with
I'm aware.
presents.
It's fine. Here's the thing. I know my role. I know who I am. I know, and I came to this understanding a long time ago, which is, for the record, people are always like, well, the one I was like, no, hold on. Because I know people who love puns. And the best thing for people who love puns is to have someone in the room who groans. That's how y'all measure how good a pun is. You have to have a person like me there. Because otherwise, how will you know how good your pun is?
I still remember to this day.
If everybody's just having a good time, what's the point?
There was a list of. So in one of the apartments I lived in with my boyfriend at the time, our computers were in like the corner. Well, my computer was in the corner, and his was like in the opposite corner, like along the wall. So I'm at my computer and I find this list of puns, and like a pun fear engine, I start reading, and they're so bad that I think there were 6 of us there. And I could feel all 5 of the other heads turn and stare at my back. And I have to keep reading because if I stop reading, they'll kill me. So I have to keep reading. It is the only thing keeping them incapacitated. That's the 2 extremes. You need somebody who will cackle, laugh with you with the pun, and you need the person that just goes.
Here's the thing. You know how much I love my friends because my friends who love puns, when I see things, I will send them to y'all.
Yep, you will.
Which means that I have to deal with them multiple times, and they have to keep existing in my presence. Although I'm willing to do that for y'all. Also, for the record, I put the custom sprites I made of Cass in.
Yay! Also, I have a automatic pod person prevention system because if you say a pun in front of me and I don't absolutely die, I'm not in there.
Cackle like a freaking hyena or a gremlin. Those are the only 2 options.
But so
I miss making custom sprites.
Attempted murder is a really funny one.
Okay, so hold on. The attempted murder thing isn't just the word attempted murder, and there's a difference between puns and visual puns. And there's lines. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
there is something very funny to me about the picture of two birds. It's two raven or two crow because they're small. Two crow, and it says attempted murder. That's funny. I don't know why. Leave me alone. It is not the same. Because it would be because it.
Oh, I forgot the jumping sprite. They're so cute. The jump sprite.
It's because it's unfinished and I didn't use it for much, but
I like it though. Let's see. What else? What else? What else? You get to build the perfect RPG system for an IP. What IP are you picking?
Okay. All right, hold on. I have to think about this one. Sorry, the fact that blocked that term.
The automod. The automod's too
God
powerful.
bless
There you
Automod.
go.
No, I know that it's a pun. It's like the acceptable pun. I find it funny. It brings me joy. It's fine. What IP am I making? Especially that there isn't one of already.
I mean, in your defense, some of the IP based RPG systems suck. Case in point, the Cowboy Bebop RPG is not the best.
Whoopies.
I ended up playing it at PAX U. Somebody hacked it with Candle Obscura, and that ran like a dream.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Interesting concept. Oh, which gives me another interesting concept, but that's technically for you, not me. But it's for me, but it's more for you.
Okay.
Revolutionary Girl Utena.
Okay, so I want to do a Revolutionary Girl Utena after the Revolution game that's using Thirsty Sword lesbians.
Mm-hmm.
But that's over there. Set that aside for now.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I also had the brief moment of what if Revolutionary Girl Candela Obscura lean real
I'm
hard
going
into that's
to
the realist dark side.
Write that down. Writing that down so I don't forget it.
Oh God, hold on. All right, okay, hold on. IPs. I hate because like if I try to do it fast, I'm only gonna think of things I've looked at recently.
Yes.
That's a lie. I know what I want. I don't know how I would do it. I don't know what it would need, but I know what I want.
Yes.
And that's a Dragon Riders of Pern TTRPG.
Okay. So here's the thing. I have access to a bunch of things, and I remembered that, I can do things to get books. And I've never read Dragon Riders of Pern. So I need you to give me a list of at least where to start, because those are a lot of books, aren't there? Okay.
There are a lot of books, but there is an order. There are technically, here's the thing. All right, and I'm not going to get into all of this right now. There is what I consider to be a correct order and an incorrect order.
Okay.
And having recently gone through this with my partner reading through these books for the first time, I have been more and more convinced that I am correct. Yes. Our friend Bear has just reread the first trilogy, and over the last year, my partner has been reading them from the beginning to we had to stop at the point where I no longer have those books physically, and when we get the next ones, I get to read them first. But yeah, so there is some people have this weird obsession with reading things that come out over time in chronological order.
Mm-hmm.
I happen to personally believe that is always wrong. And when I say that, I mean I have yet to be given an example where I felt that could possibly be right.
Okay.
I believe very strongly in publishing order. However, as far as where to start with Dragon Riders of Pern, there are technically 2 starting points because they happen simultaneously. If you're a crazy person, you can read them simultaneously.
Ooh. Ambitious.
But there are technically 2 trilogies that happen almost at exactly the same time. It's just the second one technically starts halfway through the first one. But you and I will talk about that later.
Off stream. Okay, but the answer was Dragon Riders of Pern.
Dragon Riders of Pern. I will say this because we're talking about it in case anybody goes off to go look stuff up. There is some warning that these books were written in, I believe, the 60s is when the first trilogy came out. And there are some things that have not aged well, and there is at least one particularly uncomfortable thing that happens in the first book that I believe has a good amount of nuance, but it does not mean everyone will be okay with it. So trigger warnings are important for these books. If you would like more information, I can give it at some point, but please be aware.
They go.
Yes. But yeah, so if I could come up with the perfect system for it, if I could nail everything down the way I'd want to, and I hate you because now I'm going to be thinking about this, it would be Dragon Riders.
Okay. Now for the salt portion with 20 minutes to go, I think for our our little experiment here. You can wipe one D&D class out of the player's book.
Oh no. Oh no. One D&D class. One D&D class. I want to be the biggest asshole and say Magus, but I don't mean it.
Magus?
Yeah, it's one of those big old hybrid things that came eventually. I think it's more prominent in Pathfinder at this point, but it's one of those like, I do weapons and magic. I'm good at everything. And listen, I love it, and I love all of my friends who love it. And also, I know just enough people who are like the most. Okay, no, hold on. If I'm getting rid of a class, that's so hard because I genuinely have so much respect for the possible things with like any class.
Mm-hmm.
Can I cheat?
Sure.
Cool. I don't want to get rid of paladin or cleric. I want to force everyone who wants to play a paladin or cleric to actually read it.
Ooh.
And stop thinking whatever you're thinking before. Remove all of your own personal ideas of religious trauma and stop thinking about Christianity.
No.
If we're going to get spicy, Christianity out of it. Read the actual description of everything, read the actual stories, and engage with it critically. That's what I want.
Okay. I feel like you would have liked my, sorry, I shoved a whole bunch of snacks in my mouth before you.
No, and I know people who have done this, and it's always so good. But people who decide, especially that clerics and especially paladins, have anything to do with real-world religion, and specifically the dominant religion,
Mm-hmm.
bad, wrong, spray bottle. Shh, stop it. Play the class.
Newspaper thwap. I feel like you would love Asenath. Asenath was somebody read what was it? The Critical Role Underdark, Underdeep, whatever, Call of the Underdeep, something. My brain is not getting the it was one in the D&D. Hang on. Was it Netherdeep? Hang on. Yes. So they had an official D&D adventure module called Call of the Netherdeep. And I was on a teeny tiny short actual play playing a paladin who was a paladin of the Everlight. And I love her. She is great. But the thing is, when you are the inherent of a Redeemer God, and you were not necessarily a good person before you started following said Redeemer God, you have a lot of moments where you want to just fucking... but you're a better person now.
Recovery is not a straight line.
Recovery is not a straight line. My introductory line for her was, Asenath of the Everlight, try the Everlight, not me.
I love that. But yeah, learn what polytheism is. Read the actual descriptions of your god and their ethos, and none of them are Jesus Christ.
Yep.
That's my opinion.
Sorry, I am suddenly reminded of her. We ended up fighting a drow girl, and we caught her before she could swallow her tongue, and I gagged her, and everybody was like, why would you do that? And it's just like, because I don't want her to die. And it was like, she was trying to kill us. Yes.
Uh-huh.
And it was just like...
Also, learn what lawful means.
With the subtext of, if it were my choice, I'd be killing her.
Yep.
But I'm pretty sure that giving her a second chance let her become an NPC that helped us later.
Well,
which I was hoping for.
That's why those gods exist.
And I was like, yeah!
That is why your god said to do that. Because you
exactly.
never know.
You never know.
That god's MO is actually redemption. So you did the redemption thing and it worked out great. So proud of you. The Everlight's so proud of you.
The Everlight's so proud of me. And then let's see. Let's have a very self-indulgent victory lap for a second.
Hell yeah.
So my favorite thing about playing with you is that we inevitably make characters that get on like houses on fire, who when I think the two most chaotic were an NPC that I made named Jean, and the very first iteration of Arya. They were
Her name
a
was
mess.
Arya. To be so clear, these things are technically separate from each other, but also don't worry about it.
Yeah, because there is a secret ingredient of a forbidden fandom. And
Forbidden. I have no shame.
I don't care either. It's just funny to call it that.
No, because at this point I hear forbidden fandom and I think you're talking about Turf Wars.
Oh yeah, no. Oh yeah, no. It's Homestuck. Yeah, no.
It's Homestuck.
Yeah, because
I'm a big fucking Homestuck.
we are the type of role players that we played in an ARG together.
For a long time. That lasted like 2 years.
It lasted 2 years, and
It started as an ARG. It technically stopped being an ARG relatively early, but then, you know.
Yep. And that's when I learned that if I'm in a group assignment that the fate of the world is at stake, I become the meanest goddamn person on the planet.
Yep.
Because there was a dude who thought he was going to main character way, like Ready Player One his ass through the ARG, and at every opportunity I met him, I fucking destroyed him. And I couldn't stand him, he couldn't stand me. He thought I was mean. I was like, we have the universe at stake. I don't care if you like me.
Still don't super know how I ended up becoming like a not an authority figure, but an authority figure in that world. I don't know, man. Just doing my shit. Anyway,
but
Arya and Jean.
Arya and Jean. But I love when we make characters together. I have like a RPG like a future RPG wish.
Uh-huh.
Because we have chemistry together. There was a point where like when we had this weird neurospicy merging / like conflict. Like the best way I can describe it, you know how Velcro sticks together really fast? Honorable mention to Hartar and Reika, yep. But then you try and pull apart Velcro and it's like and like texture, no. That's what, because I was undiagnosed and Arya was going through her own things. That was what our like initial bonding was.
Yeah.
So we were like literally talking to the degree where we were completing each other's sentences or speaking at the same time, at least 50% of the time, but also ready to airlock one of each other at any given notice. And then, you know, I got a better job and moved and stopped dealing with my abusive mom and stopped having that pressure cooker and then finally got diagnosed and all this stuff. So we're good now.
We're good now. There was also a section of time where I was very suddenly going off medications you're supposed to titrate down from against my will. So like
Yeah.
some of that is nobody's fault.
Some of that is no one's fault. But so we still, you know, after years of knowledge and, you know, healing, we still have a pretty good like chemistry baseline.
So
I want us to play enemies.
yeah.
Like,
Yes.
I don't know how we will become enemies. I don't know why. But I just want us to, like, in character, not be able to fucking stand each other.
There's one trick to that. There has to be at least one person, but ideally more than one person in the rest of the party that will get not involved, but would stop us.
Mm-hmm.
You and I can't make enemies that have to, like, we can. We shouldn't have to. We should not have to make enemies that have to police and curtail themselves.
Yeah, no. Like,
I need just that littlest bit of support from the team that we're in so that somebody will be like, y'all shut the fuck up one time, or even just is worried, right? Is worried about one or the other of us or whatever. I need a party that isn't just going to sit back and do nothing while we snipe at each other. That's not fun.
That's not fun. No.
I need investment from the rest of the party. And
exactly.
I absolutely agree.
In a perfect world, I would love this to be a LARP. One, so we can hug it out after our session. But two, I noticed that, like, for some reason, it's easier to form separate groups in a LARP. Mm-hmm. So that way we can have our own, like, individual teams and then also be like,
a very
at each other.
particularly antagonistic character, like actively, openly antagonistic character in a LARP one time. And I spent so much time before games and after games being like, and this is a character thing, and I promise I'm not this, and she's just a bitch, and da-da-da-da-da. Everybody said they were fine with it. Let me tell you how hard it is sometimes to turn around and just do things like, what do you want? And watch somebody start to feel like they need to leave the room. And I'm like, wait, no, wait, no.
Just like, no, pretendy.
Just pretendy times. Hey, we're all here pretending. Please don't be mad at me.
But yeah. But I just, like, I feel like that would be really fun.
I'll pay admission to watch. And I was like, technically, we could eventually maybe work towards the idea of it being something that people could watch.
Hey, there you go. Ooh, that could be interesting for, like, I
do not think it could possibly be, for instance, a this year thing. But
no, but there's planning.
I was actually thinking, I think it also would be fun to play enemies in something scripted too.
Yeah, no, that was the thought I had.
Yeah.
Shark Tank pitch, pretendy time and not pretendy badges for LARPers. Print it.
I was a very angry dragon lady who was trying to figure out how to be a good guy and was bad at it. And there were only 2 responses to that character. Taking things personally and, oh, she's got a soft underbelly. No, don't talk about my soft underbelly. Fear me. People feared me too much or decided they didn't need to fear me at all. Those were the 2 camps.
I got an idea.
Oh boy.
Remember Lillian and Dahlia?
Somewhere?
No.
Huh?
Remember Lillian and Dahlia?
Yes.
You were probably one of the only people I would trust with Lillian.
Yes.
Because then,
I'd
like,
be Dahlia too, don't get me fucking wrong.
I mean, either of us could do either, but, like... Yeah! Okay, no, we'll play unscripted enemies with Arya.
Notes, take it.
There we go. But just putting that out there, we could do a... We may
The pretendy badges for LARPers, we actually have a system for that. When you are in character, in an in-character space, it is supposed to be taken that you are acting in character. In order to say I am acting out of character, there's a little hand sign. You can put it over your head, you can put it in front of your face, you can put it anywhere. There's a hand sign for that. There's a hand sign for telepathy, there's a hand sign for out of character, there's hand signs for are you okay, yes, no, maybe.
My favorite is the I'm in wolf form hand sign.
What was the what?
My favorite is the I'm in wolf form hand sign.
What's the I'm in wolf form hand sign?
It's you make a little wolf with your hand. Like, hang on, I'll take a picture of it and send it to you.
Which is so funny because I immediately, to me, that's hold on, fingers up or all fingers down?
Hang on, like, Some people do it. I'll send it to you this way, and then I knew one person who did it like
Just a parenting.
the shadow wolf way. So I'll send them both to you. Megumi summoning doggos. Hunter the parenting? What's Hunter the parenting? So
there we go.
there you go.
Yeah. Okay. So the first one there is
Uh-huh.
so funny because do you know where I see that used more frequently? Is I don't know how local this thing is, but do you guys ever llama?
Yes, I've heard llama, but my brain isn't connecting you what it's for.
Okay, so llama is that somebody has to physically move away for a second, but their character is still there. So somebody next to their character will put up their hand to be a llama, so that everybody understands that character is still there, even though the player had to step away for a second. So that's what I'm used to seeing that for. I do like the shadow one though. That's great.
No, it was so funny because like he would do it in front of his face. So he was just like, I am a wolf. He would move his finger.
My favorite is to be in the middle of like a scene and somebody will like have to go do something for a second and they'll just go llama and like run away. And it's always funny.
That's so good.
And everybody's like, oh yes. And then somebody will, it doesn't like, there's no coordination. Somebody just puts their hand up like, oh, yep, here is the llama. I don't know why llama. I need you to understand. It doesn't make any sense. That's amazing.
Oh my god. Cause like the Emperor text to speech.
I'm looking that up.
Was one of my favorite things. It's just like, this is like, what was it? This is absolutely disgusting, or like something like that. And he would like freak out. And that was like my reaction image for like forever.
Hunter the parenting. I was almost in a Hunter game. I technically was in a Hunter game that stopped being a Hunter game.
Oh wow.
Very quickly. Because everybody turned into things.
Oh wow. That's spicy.
We were supposed to play it as a Hunter game. But then some people turned out to be were-things. And some people got turned into vampires. And some of us died and came back as mages.
Whoops. Absolutely disgraceful. Thank you. I was trying to think of it. Absolutely disgraceful. Because it was the way he would shake when he would say it.
I technically was the only human left in that game for months.
But, oh gosh. So, last question.
Yeah.
What's a game you would like to play with me soon?
You soon?
Mm-hmm.
Magical Girls.
Okay.
Magical Girls.
I'll ping you in this over.
That was fun. Yeah. That was fun. I liked my character design.
The character was so good. For context, I ran a kind of the opening series of sessions to a Glitter Hearts game where I invited all of the Magical Girl fans I know to play Magical Girls. It fell apart because life is stupid and jobs and timing, and I was in California at the time, so we were doing this across 3 time zones and blah 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 blah. I am revamping the game, and now that I think I know how I want to run things a little better, because running for a stream will pull your punk card a little bit about a whole bunch of stuff. But I think it's going to make me a stronger DM overall. Mm-hmm. So I want to get back into GMing again, and not just Scion. Although that Scion game it's funny. Aria's had the experience of, I met two friends in some voice acting classes, and we played D&D together for a while. And to give my friend a break because he DM'd for 2 years straight, I am now running Scion. Those two men are maniacs.
Okay. I'm also running Scion.
Ooh! We should compare notes.
I'm running the Scion LARP. Not running. I'm an assistant ST.
Still, that's pretty big.
Yeah, well, we've been doing that for a hot minute, and sometimes I'm even pretty good at it.
Hey, this is my shock face. But thank you so much for coming through, Aria. Yeah. Tell the people what you do and when you do it.
Oh, yeah, kind of, sort of. Sometimes sometimes I draw, and sometimes I stream, and sometimes I play video games, and sometimes I don't. I have been on a pretty solid hiatus because of life for the last year or so. But shut up. Anyway, that's not true. That fully threw me off. Anyway, yeah, I've been on a hiatus. However, I am, technically speaking, an artist and a streamer and a gamer. I am working on coming back to Twitch in the next year. I am hoping in the next few months, but I won't get ahead of myself. But I do still do commissioned artwork at the moment. I have a couple of your character here things. Yeah, I draw and I stream and I play games and I draw on stream. That's what I do.
Once again, this has been Disjointed Aria. Thank you so much for being here with me on my inaugural episode.
I can like link my card like a professional.
Oh yes, you can. But check Aria out. Give her your money. She's a good artist.
Listen, I will happily take your money.
Everybody, you see the two pieces of artwork? The one that's representing me is mine. The one that's representing Aria did. Aria's fantastic. But thank you everybody for stopping by. Appreciate the interaction in the chat. This is hopefully going to be a monthly series. I will announce who my next guest is at the beginning of March. So, once again, thanks everybody. I've been your host, Neon Saline. I hope you all have a great night, great weekend. Take care of yourselves and be safe out there in the rad future. Peace.
Good night.